Oh, drawn liquidity, good. Okay, so my main time frame, it's M5. If M5 is not clear, I use M15, same. Right, for intraday liquidity markups, and for higher time frame, I use H1. If H1 is not clear, I go on M30. And for entries, 1 minute, 30 seconds, and 15 seconds. And regarding this daily and H4, I just use it at the start of the week. So we have Monday. I'm gonna go on daily time frame and H4 to just understand the overall market momentum and trend. That's it. Okay, let's move to the next one. Yep. You can write it as well. That will be good for this. And you can even share your screen also. And by the way, do we have anyone that is willing to backtest like the previous session? So if the high time frame is bearish for it. Okay, let's just copy this one. Okay. Is this something related, somewhat related to this trade that I took? Because can you confirm this one? So I do have a better example to explain as well. Okay, it's better than that. I'll just try it. Okay, so if the high time frame bias is bearish for an example, but the intraday shows something else like bullish, are you still looking for shorts or wait for the market to take some liquidity to go shorts? Okay, good. So it is quite simple and easy one. So for instance, I'm gonna just show this red being a high time frame. From this point, okay, so what is our nearest sort of range or whatever you want to say this, or the leg, right? I call it leg, some people call it range, anything like that, right? So and then we do see the lower time frame which starts to the bullish, right? Still we don't have much of data to say that this is the point of reversal till we have some sort of high time frame leg being broken, and then we see an inducement to confirm the high time frame change of direction, right? So in this instance, what I'll be doing is, yes, I'll try to buy in this bearish market, right? Understanding where what are the points of liquidity and the reactions that can push price lower, and if any of these points fail to push price lower, then we have simply a market phase where the trend is about to change, and then we can start to seek liquidity of the higher time frame, right? Same as this example, right? So we were bearish, right? But then on lower time frame, we start to show some bullish intentions, and then obviously with the fact that if I go a password, there we go. This also depends that when we are saying that sort of conflict of high time frame and lower time frame, we need to understand where we are reacting to the left as well. If that is something valid, that if let's say if we have something valid liquidity on higher time frame, then this liquidity is going to give you a context why this lower time frame is starting to turn bullish. And it's same thing. If a higher time frame is bearish and it needs to reverse, for a reversal, first the lowest time frame is tends to change into bullish narrative, and then higher time frame changes following that lower time frame. Same thing in there as well. So we have something valid that is responsible for pushing the price high. We understood, yep. The fact that yes, cool, when we were creating the lower lows, we were generating liquidities above the high. So if we're taking that liquidity, we expect a reaction, right? But only depending on this reaction, this liquidity, I can't, void the whole general bullish transfer of lower time frame trend, right? So I need to be aware of, okay, we took a valid source of liquidity. What are the valid source of liquidity to the opposite side that can push the price high? So for this example, this was the most valid low. I expected price to take out this liquidity to the left and react, and then react to this liquidity to start continuing going high, right? And simply as that. So you need to be, according to the market, right? You need to adapt to what market is showing you, because I can't really force in here that I'm in a sell position and I want market to take out these lows. And I think I did explain this in my breakdown as well. Why was my target in here not at this IP level or not at this trend line? Because that's irrelevant right now. Prices at this moment, where is the liquidity in here, is at this low, right? So again, coming back to this diagram, right? You can start looking for, so far it is going to be a counter trend trade. Why these buys? Why? Because the general trend is bearish, and these buys will be counter trend till we see a proper shift in the high time frame trend, right? So yes, you can take these pullback trades. Be flexible in taking the trades, right? Don't stick to a general bias, right? You need to be aware of the opportunities on the both side, because let's say if I'm only focused on this high time frame, which is bearish, and I'm neglecting these intraday opportunities, which is a conflict opportunity against the high time frame narrative, I'll be missing out all these opportunities, and I don't even know if price is going to respect this high to go lower, right? So you need to be flexible. You need to understand the opportunities of both sides, and that's what I tend to do. I knew we were bullish, but this was a very clear, a very understandable opportunity. So why would I miss it, knowing that this is a counter trend trade and you just manage your risk accordingly, right? I hope so. This clarifies everything. Perfect. Again, it's all about adapting to the markets, because we can't really force the market to do what we really want. Let's say I can't really force market, to take out this high and then go lower, right? I can't force the market to take out this low and then go lower. In this instance, price took out this high, right? Now, where are most probably the traders entering? It's going to be some sort of support and resistance traders, right? A lot of traders wait for a breakdown, bullish candle, they start to buy in this leg, right? So let's say we have this push, they will be most probably having the liquidities at this area, and then we have an inefficiency as well. So in this scenario, we were trading away from this inducement. So this was a protected low, and we don't really expect price to come down and take out this low, right? So where is the liquidity in this scenario? It's at this high. And can we take a sell trade in there? Yes, we can. But target what? Target is going to be this one, not this one, not this one, neither this one, right? Okay, cool. Let's move to the next one. Can you please go over your USD? This Friday price tapped in the high time frame POI, but I was expecting to tap the cap. Can you explain me when the order flow switched from buys to sells? I hope so I don't have any such markups. Yep, I do have 7 alert in there. That's 7 so far. Okay, bro, just tell me which gap or if you can share a markup as well, Curtis, that will be much better. Or you can simply open your mic and tell me in this one which POI or which order flow mitigation you are buys when the order flow switch from buys to sells. Okay, okay, good. Yep. Okay, this one. Okay, something like this. Okay, from the left. Okay, okay. So you're talking about fav last week one. Okay, this one. Yeah, 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 yeah. Do that. Yeah, yeah, sure. Take your time, bro. Okay, okay. Oh, yeah, it's recording. Yep, sure, sure, sure. Okay, yep. So let's just say that you're waiting for this high to get taken, right? There we go. Okay, so you were waiting for this gap or high to get taken out, tap into POI, right? When the order flow switched from buys to the sells. Okay, same thing, right? Just understanding structure. Right, I know this is something that's not shown and lit properly. The bash structure a lot, right? For me, again, I say this a lot of times. Structure is one of the most important components in your trading, right? Because let's say you don't use structure, but you do utilize structure to mark your liquidity, right? Then there's no point in bashing the structure that it's used as anything like that, right? And if I mark my structure properly, we do have something like this, right? And I like, okay, shush. Okay, so where I'd say most of the liquidity in this high is irrelevant for me, right? This is nothing. This is just a simple leg down, and this is the high that is, going to invite, you know, traders to take positions, and you can see that we tap into this POI. We started to, roam around there, few rejections, and then we took it out with speed. So this shows that this was a clear liquidity point rather than this high or any sort of mitigations. And again, I've said this a lot of times, right? Do not mark your POIs because you are not trading mitigations, you're not trading order flow, you're trading liquidity, right? And marking a POI is going to get you biased, say that it is a bullish market, right? And I mark this POI. Now I have this on chart and I'm automatically going to think about the buy possibilities, right? Ignoring all the fact we took out a point of relevant liquidity, we had a nice reaction in inducement principles, and we might go low and target this potential liquidity low, right? So I'm gonna just ignore all these facts while marking out this POI. Same thing you did in here was you were very biased on your stuff that price needs to come back to this gap, right? And then reverse. But that gap is having nothing, so there is no reason, there is no influence of this gap so far right now in the market to push the price, or either even price wants to mitigate that. So this was a vital liquidity, price took it and price reacted. Simple as that, bro. I hope it clears, right? Right? Because again, bro, you can't really, force market to do what you want, right? You work with what you are given, what is given to you, how it's developing, right? Uh, yeah. Just remember, yeah, remember one thing. Whenever you're trying to take a trade, doesn't matter if that's from the middle of the leg or extreme of the leg, you want to abide by the principle, which is, no inducement, no trade, right? Exactly, simple as that. Let's say there are people that are trying to, for an instance, right? Just consider they're trying to buy from there, right? For me, do I see any valid inducement? No. So I'm not going to get engaged in this buy possibility, right? Simple as that. For me, this rule is very important. It is going to save you from a lot of losses, right? Say, now I'd like to buy from this level, right? In here, can I? Yes, I can. Why? Because I do see a clear inducement down, right? And I think if I'm not wrong, I did share this with the one program that we just started. Simple as that, right? You just need to wait for a nice little inducement to tell you what's going to happen. Just don't stop trying to cash the move. Just give me a second if I may be able to do that. Okay, there we go. Okay, I just posted that in the VC chart. You can see that I do have clear markup of my IPA level and the and where the price is reacting. So I had this where price was reacting these highs, and I expected what the price to react from this high to come back into this IP level, and then we can look for some buy possibilities, right? And there we go. And we did have a really clean buy possibility. Simple as that, right? No overcomplications, nothing. You don't need blah blah blah. A really beautiful 16-hour trade. Simple as that, right? So yep, exactly. Simple as that, right? So are we buying from a random level? No. Are we buying after an inducement? Yes, we are. Validates a trade, right? So for this day, right? Is there any clean buy trade for me? No. So I'm going to simply do what? I'm going to simply stay away from this pair for this day. And I'm going to maybe look into gold or into my other pairs, which is GU or NASDAQ, right? I do have this also marked up on NASDAQ. Was very, very, very simple trades. Again, shift, reacting to the high. A lot of guys are going to consider this as a market structure shift. They are going to start selling from there. This stuff tells you that we are reacting to, we do have IPA. We induces that liquidity into there. Principles being followed. We can look for a sell trade till where? Till all this, efficiency, liquidity lows, and then we have our reactional zones. There we go. So simple. For me, if I'm in a sell from there, that is the level that I'll be out most of my trade. Simple as that, right? No over complications. Okay, let's move to the next one. Should know what is okay. Okay, guys. Do you have another question? Yo, Maxton. Okay, I haven't seen you in quite a bit. Oh man, where's the ugly brother? Okay. No questions, guys? Oh man. Nah, you guys are intelligent as fuck because you understand everything. You understand that if you don't ask questions, you won't learn, right? And there's no shame in asking questions. I'm here trying to help you, and if you don't really want that help, so you can't do anything. But you do have this opportunity, so avail it. Yeah, yeah, it's a good one. It's a fundamental. Now, I don't really trade fundamental for Forex stuff, right? Cool. I don't know if you know, but I do trade crypto, I do trade gold and Nasdaq. So for these, I do monitor fundamentals, but for Forex pairs, I don't really care about fundamentals, right? Because I can see that happen on charts, right? It is a good stuff if you combine the fundamentals with technicals. It's a good stuff. I do know quite few traders that trade purely based on fundamental hours and they make good money. It's just about your personal preference, right? I like to keep things very simple. I don't like to, make a mess out of the stuff that I don't really want to use or I don't really have expertise on it. Simple as that. What is the difference between strong inducement and weak inducement? Well, what the fuck is a strong inducement and weak inducements? I I never you, bro. I've been doing this community sessions for quite long, maybe over an year, right? And I haven't said anything like strong inducement and weak inducement, bro. Major, medium, and intraday inducements. Again, bro, if you know me, right? I said this again a lot of times. I don't mark inducements as major, medium, or intraday inducements. Just know that is a valid inducement and develop a context behind it. That's it. You don't need to overcomplicate everything. Trading is very easy if you make it very simple, right? You won't see any sort of markups like this is a major inducement, this is a minor inducement. Yes, I do that sometime whenever I need to post that in public, my charts, etc. Okay, let's see. Okay, what the fuck? It says it's unavailable, bro. Let me watch it again. 6:30. Just give me a second. Let me answer. Okay, my mode for 6:30. Well, if I did set, oh, come on, Tenon. I'm talking about strong liquidity levels in there, bro. I'm talking about strong and weak liquidity levels. Like weak liquidity levels are the ones that have a very minor liquidity and you expect a very small reaction from those. And strong liquidity levels are the most valid liquidity levels that you expect price to give a proper reaction. That's what I'm talking about in there. Good. I hope so this clears. Yeah. Say if you watch the video, I'm again using the word reaction, sort of good reactions, right? On EU, where do you see the sell move on H1 most likely is 1.6. Let's go back on EU. Remove drawings, go back on H1. Okay, so you're saying 1.6 somewhere in there. Okay, cool. So, oh man, right now we're working towards, from this point of liquidity, right? So for me, generally, if you're working from this should be the minimum target, right? That's what I expect. And once this target is taken, then I'll see how price develops, right? So for me, minimum target should be this low. I hope so, Alexander. That answers your question, right? Because you can't be predicting. Always work, your way from the nearest to the furthest levels. Because let's say if you're just expecting price to take out this low, right, and price took out this low and reverse, what are you going to do? You're just going to miss out the whole opportunity, right? So just yeah, that's it. Okay, any other questions? Stock. Yeah, I did want someone, but who's willing to do that? I did ask the question, like, who's willing to do a backtest? Yeah, sure. Do it, bro. Let me know when you're ready. Yeah. I just ask GPT to give you a random time, bro. Yeah. Ask GPT to give you a random. Uh, I was in this fucking swing trade. There we go. Kind of small swing trade, but yeah, it is what it is. Anyone swing trades here? No, it's easy. You just buy and hold, bro. Simple as that. Okay. I, yeah, no, I took this trade like 2, 3 times. So I had my first entry, something like this. It did give me a good like 3, 4 hour. Yeah, I did close a bit there and ended up getting at a break even. I entered it again somewhere in this area. I don't really remember. And I had my bit bigger stop loss, something like this in there. And I just closed before this big shit down. I closed, I think. I closed either this day or this day in here. I closed at this point. So and then the next few days market just chipped down. Was a good exit. Profit taking phase, you gotta know your exits. Exits are as important as your entries. You're gonna see my trades hitting partials and then completely reversing. So again, your exits are very, very important. Any other questions, guys? There's a one thing, right? If I do see a good activity in the server, I'm gonna do live trading quite often here, right? But if there are like no members, then I won't do that much trading. Obviously, it's going to be live one, right? Most probably New York sessions only. Let's do this. So yeah, okay. It's going to be a good start for my media as well, so I can get some good content. Yeah, sure, sure. Take your time, bro. Yeah, that would be fine, but obviously we need a bit more activity in here. If there's no activity, then there's no mean to waste the time. You get it? So yeah, try to be active in the server. Okay. Okay, so timings is written up there. It's not a big deal. Why timing for me is just uh, to show the line that I don't want to cross, right? So I just want to execute during the volatility times, right, and get my partials real quick, and then market can just fuck off to anything that it wants to do. That's what I do have timing. If I see an A plus setup forming somewhere randomly in the day, I can execute that setup as well. But again, if it's happening during the valid timing, the volatility timing, I'm more than happy to take it. Why? Because I know that I can get somewhat a small reaction to go break even. And then obviously, if I get a bit more reaction, I can just take my partials and leave the markets. That's why I do prefer the volatility timings, but it's just personal preference, right? It's nothing crazy. So we have this one there. Uh, oh, damn. I didn't trade Friday. Friday was quite clean, bro. So nice trade in there and in here as well. Would have been fine. But yeah, kind of anything. Let's see what I did miss on Friday. Let me just real quick mark the two entries that I would have actually taken. Oh, bro, this trade would have been a really juicy one. We do have a minor entry in here as well, reacting to a liquidity in the USI. Another entry right up there. By the way, this entry and this entry, these are based on the volume candles. I did explain them in my YouTube video and in public session as well. So if you guys want to know about this entry model, if you guys want to learn how you can execute it aggressively, just go to my YouTube channel and you guys are going to get the volume candle entries video. If I can share that as well, let me really quick do it in here. Uh, there we go. Okay, yep. You can start it, bro. Yeah, no, no, yep. Speak as you think what's happening. What do you expect us to do? Hmm. Sure. Yeah, okay. Sure. Okay, well, you're making the same mistake I told you. You don't want to mark POIs, right? No. Okay, sure. Yeah. Okay. So, so if you're trying to create a general context, then I think it's better to go on H1 and then develop the context. Yep. Yep. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. You can use M5 only. Uh, Let me just mute someone. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Okay. By the way, add the Asian session box as well. Okay. Damn, I can't really see the yellow box, bro. Got it. Okay. Yep. Now I can see it. Yep. That's better. Nice. Okay. Uh-huh. Mhm. Okay. Yeah. The black was the grayish was good. No, just do it gray. That was the thing that you did first time. That was much better. Just make the opacity. Just lower the opacity. Not the borders of the background. There we go. It's better. Hmm. Yep. Yep. Okay. Okay. Mhm. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Mhm. If that works for you, that's good. You don't want to hear about others. Hmm. Okay. 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 Yeah, for the sake of this session, you can. Yep. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Mhm. That's a good one. Nah, that this was a good buy trade. I won't lie. Few mistakes, right? But generally, I would say uh, the context was correct, but it wasn't built properly. The targets was very poor. Target is still very poor. We could have targeted. We could have targeted the high, not this the high that created a pullback. No, no, no. This is not the high that created the pullback. Zoom out. You see, zoom out. You see the high that tapped into your. Yep, that one. That's all liquidity. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. If let's say if I haven't told you that we could target that liquidity, would you have taken any sort of sell trades? Just be honest. Uh, okay. 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 Uh huh. Hmm. Sure. Okay. Sh- Sure. Uh-huh. Yep. So it was. And now, if you zoom out, right? I just wanted to do one thing is create the bullish context built properly because he had a you know a very poor context. Although it was a correct one, it was a good one, but still, it wasn't up to the mark. The context that how you had the narrative to go for the buys, right? Because as you said, you had a bearish bias, right? You were looking for sales. So your context behind this trade was very, very poor. So again, two things. Poor targets, poor context. Entry was good one. The rest was good. You know, yeah, you need to understand the details as well. Try to understand the small details because small details make big differences. Yeah. I don't, yeah, in general, I'm talking about in general because okay, for me to develop a context for this day, obviously I need to be on this particular day and looking at the charts. So I don't have the charts and I'm just looking at your screen. So yeah, can't really say it. Yeah, but okay. Yeah. Okay, okay. Let me see how long did it go. Okay, 48 minutes. Good. We're gonna do one more day, and then I think the recording is already at like 50 minutes, so we can do one more day. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Yep. That's good. Yeah. That's also correct. Yeah. 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 Good. Okay. Okay. Yep. Good. That's good. Okay. Okay. That. Yeah. Okay. Mhm. Okay. Mhm. Okay. Okay. Uh-huh. This was also very, yep. This was a very clean setup, a nice one. But again, you could have targeted much lower as well. Your target selection is kind of poor. What you can do is you can mark out your usual targets. You can have most of your trade out, out of the position at this level, and just let a small, runner towards the furthest liquidity point. So obviously you won't be missing out on the good moves. Uh, Yep. So at this point, you can just close 80%, 75% of your trade, put break even, and let the rest run towards the furthest liquidity point. So in that case, if price tends to move strongly in your direction, you aren't missing anything. You're just making a bit more of cash, right? 4 hours much better. Yeah. No, 4 hours really, really good, right? But say if you can, yeah, but it does. But if you can capitalize on it more properly and efficiently, then why not? Huh? Okay. Okay. So you go with market executions every time. Okay. Okay. Backtest the you need to backtest the way that you're gonna trade in the real markets, right? So you don't have any point of mistake or like that. You don't just make unnecessary human errors. Yeah, sure. Yep. Yeah, sure. Go with it, bro. Okay, so for me, what it is where you entry was, it wasn't an inducement; it was just addition to the liquidity, right? So we didn't have any sort of real inducements to go lower so far. Yeah, but again, not yeah, but not every vector candle is inducing something. Let's just end this day, and I think we'll be good. Let me see how long the recording is. Okay, so we are already around 1 hour, so let's just end this one. Yeah. Yep. No worries, bro. Okay, good. So, you guys have any questions for me to answer? And if not, then we can just call it a day and in the session. Will there be another way you latest spark test next week? Yeah, most probably. Yeah, I'm trying to be more active in the community, but yeah. Where would you have targeted the low? You're Alexander. You're talking about the sell trade that we took. Okay, yeah. So I would have targeted quite a bit lower because everything was effectively in place. We have ton of liquidity generated while we are pushing up, and we did reacted multiple times towards that low. So that also asked an extra confidence that there were liquidity. There were traders that were trying to enter, that were trying to execute the position. So we had quite good amount of liquidity to the lows. We could have targeted all those lows down. I would have selected the point that started everything and targeted that. I don't have the charts right now. Okay, yeah. Potentially, yes, we could have targeted that low as well. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really remember, bro, exactly what the low was like. I have a bad memory. So sorry for that. Yeah, go ahead, bro. I don't really hold trades overnight. I do sometimes for gold or Nasdaq only, right? But FX pairs, I just close everything before London close mostly. But yeah, I don't really hold trades overnight. Perfect. You guys have any other questions? If no, then I think it's good for this session. Okay. Nah, bro, you executed shit ton of trades. Yeah. Okay. I can't really understand the trades. Okay, he took buys, but he closed the buys. He took sells. He got closed the sells. Ah, bro, that's tenant. You don't need to laugh, bro. You had like a 7% win rate. What the fuck you laughing, bro?